Mr. Keith Lee. Now, if you're not familiar, Keith Lee is a food influencer or a food reviewer who went viral on TikTok not that long ago because he was making reviews. Whenever he would try a place, he would make a little review video, and then he grew to become very popular on TikTok just because of his demeanor, how he carried himself, and how he did his reviews. This is an instance of the power of social media. One day you could just be someone who's not well known, and then just from a couple viral videos, you can become an Instagram influencer, someone that's on red carpets, have meals named after you, meeting different famous people. So his life just pretty much took off from there in the public famous world. He's gone on to do a food tour. So I don't know how long he's been doing it, but I'll say for the last couple of weeks, it seems like he's been on a full food tour where he's been going to different states and he's been trying different restaurants. For what I can understand, he's been trying restaurants in these states that his followers recommend. It seems like, though, his stop in Atlanta is what has caused a bit of a problem. There's been so many different aspects to his stop in Atlanta that people have been talking about. So he stopped at a couple of places in Atlanta. I know he stopped at Candy Burst's restaurant, Old Lady Gang. He gave a review on that place, even though he didn't get any food. He talked about his experience, and Candy also responded to what he had to say. Before he went to Candy's place, though, he stopped at a restaurant by the name of Milk and Honey. And he went on to talk about his experience there, just overall, maybe a lack of customer service issue and how these restaurants are overall lacking hospitality. Once Keith Lee did his review of Milk and Honey, that's when people, of course, social media went on to fact check. They went on to look this, restaurant up. And then this is when people stumble across some rules from this restaurant. I want to read a couple of them because it was like, are y'all serious? After people read the reviews, in addition to what Keith Lee had to say, that's when people was like, okay, like, this is a problem, not only in Atlanta, because people that live in Atlanta say this is not just something that Keith Lee is going through. This is just a thing that's a problem in Atlanta. These different rules that these restaurants have, their lack of customer service is just overall not a good experience. So Keith Lee only seemed to ignite this conversation. So here are some of the rules from this Milk and Honey restaurant. The top, it says house rules. We guarantee, number one, we guarantee great food. Everything else is left to chance. We try our hardest, though, we really do. 2, we do not provide individual checks. However, we will allow up to 3 forms of payment. 3, 18% gratuity added to parties of 5 or more, or checks larger than $75. 18%? Seems a little steep, but okay. 4, no modifications, no was in caps, no modifications to any of the menu items. If you have a food allergy, please choose another item without the allergen. Now, as someone that has quite a few different food allergies, what are you even saying? Like, it just seems like you really just don't care about your customers. Like, you're not trying to work with them at all. So what if every single thing on your menu has something that they are allergic to? Just don't eat here? Okay. 5, be nice. 6, no reservations, no in caps, unless you are Barack Obama. Hey, there's exceptions to every rule. 7, No table hibernation, 90-minute max. Others have to eat too. Now, maybe I just haven't dined out at that many places, but no restaurant that I have ever been to has had a minute, like a time limit on how long I can sit there. Like, what type of stuff is that? 8, if we prepare your selected item to our menu specifications, we will not remove the item from your bill. Our entrees are not samples. Thanks. This just goes in line with the other rules. Like, y'all just really don't seem like y'all don't care about y'all customers. Y'all not willing to like work with them. You like this is what it is, take it or leave it. Not really trying to build an environment that people want to come to, feel comfortable, and come back to. So after Keith Lee did his review and people did their research and they found these rules, people were all on this Milk and Honey restaurant. Different posts that start coming out from them. There was one alleged post from someone that claimed to be that they were a manager at Milk and Honey that was talking about Keith Lee having autism or something like that. We're not completely sure if that individual really did work for Milk and Honey, but that's what they said. So that's what came out, just kind of adding fuel to the situation. Then something else came out where it seems like the people who owned the place or worked there were like made this kind of skit looking video where they were like, who is Keith Lee or something like that, acting like, you know, they don't know who Keith Lee is, so they don't care. So it was like a mess. Like, it was a big mess. Instead of them coming out with a good PR statement that said, we acknowledge what Keith Lee said, and we're gonna work on the problem, kind of what Candy said from Old Lady Gang, that would have made this whole situation better, but it seems like that's not what they did until they really started catching a lot of heat. Then once they caught a lot of heat from the post from the alleged manager who was talking about Keith Lee having autism, and then that skit that the Milk and Honey place did where they were like, who is Keith Lee? After there was just a lot of backlash from those things, that's when an official press release came out. It seems like it's a little bit too late. Y'all had all of them little snappy things to say, talk about who is Keith Lee. Why did it take you so long to come out and put out an official statement? Like, y'all called yourself being cute and it did not seem to work in y'all's favor. You should definitely care about the experience that your customers are having. This seems to be a really big issue, a really big customer service issue, not just at that place, not just in Atlanta in general. It seems like after the pandemic, customer service has just been like a lost art. It doesn't matter where you go, whether you're dining in at a place, whether you just simply going into the stores to purchase something, you interacting with your cashier, whether you're going through the drive-through. It just seems like no matter where you go, people like the people that work there just don't have any coof, and they just don't care how your experience is. Like, we are paying customers. You should care. If people choose to stop going to whatever that place is because of a lack of customer service issue, that's how that place goes out of business. And then those said people have to find a job. Then you're going to be unemployed. So you should definitely care that you are giving someone good customer service.